Kansas football has stunk for the better part of 20 years. So it begs the question, will Kansas football ever be good again? Kansas football has been horrible for the better part of 2 decades. After the 2019 season, even though Kansas went 3-9, they showed a lot of promise through new head coach Les Miles. There are a few reasons why I believe KU football will be back to a winning, semi-respectable team in a couple years. The first reason is their new head coach, Les Miles. Les Miles brings a winning culture to KU. He has made it to 2 national championships, and he won one of them. He has had a losing season only once as a head coach, in 2001, besides last year as KU's head coach. He's only had 2 losing seasons his whole career as a head football coach. No matter what you feel about the guy, what you think about him, he's a good coach. The second reason I think KU football will be good in a couple years, be back to respectability, is because last season, even though they were 3-9, they looked promising. They lost by an average of 17 points per loss in the games they lost, but they won 3 of their games and lost 3 of their games by only 5 points or less. The reason their average loss difference was so high is because of games like Kansas versus Baylor, where KU lost 6-61, or when they lost 14-51 to TCU. They just got blown out. If they would have won their 3 close games, they'd be 6-6, back to bowl eligibility. And so, as you can see, they're getting back into... So now let's take a look back on just how bad KU has been for the past couple of years. In 2018, they were 3-9, and they lost 3 of their games within 5 points, but they were far worse. They lost to an FCS team and didn't play that well throughout the whole season. In 2017, they were only 1-11 and didn't come within 7 points of any of their opponents. They lost by an average of 27 points and didn't score in 2 of their 12 games. Think about that. They didn't score in 2 of their 12 games. And then in 2015, they didn't win a single football game.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
The last reason I think KU football will be back to respectability is because of their schedule. It looks like to me from researching their schedule that they can be 5-7 or 6-6. If you look at their schedule, games I think they'll win are versus the New Hampshire Wildcats, the Boston College Eagles, the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. I think they'll win all 3 of those games. And then 4 games I think they'll find a way to win against teams that haven't been so hot recently are Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Texas Tech, and maybe even Iowa State. So I think KU football can find a way to win 6 games next season. Looking back, KU football, if they can get themselves back together, get themselves back to respectability, I think they can be a decent team for the years to come, get some good recruits, and become a good team year after year. That's all they need to do. All they need is 1 winning season.
Just 13 seconds to go, Liam Jones.